Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin. And to crack or not to crack, that is the question here. So I've got 8 different coins and we're going to do one video here on this. And I went ahead and bought a bunch of stuff here. And the first half of this video I'm going to show you because I've got 3 Morgans, all PCGS MS64s, all similar price range. I mean, I'll tell you, I paid $62 each for them. And the question is, if you were me, do you spend the money to get them certified, upgraded, or do you go ahead and just try to get $75 out of them or whatever, $85 out of them, and make your money move on? So this is put your coin dealer hat on, put your crack dealer hat. Wait, no, I don't think we can say that. Anyway, this is not a kid-friendly show suddenly. So I got these 3 different Morgans. We're going to take a closer look. Some of the things I liked about these coins were just the overall grade I thought was really nice. And they all had kind of a good look to them, some nice gentle toning on this 84.0. Of course, it's got the big fingerprint right there, which may just make everyone say, you know what, you should just leave it as is. Take the gentle toning, get a little extra for it because of that, and move on. So we'll start with that 84.0. And going to move on to this 19.020, which also has some gentle toning to it. I really like the field on this one, especially on the obverse. I mean, you got a couple marks on the cheek there, but that field is really nice overall. Very clean through the date area, back behind, up into the top. It's got some of that silver tone to it. Let's look at the back here. You see how flat that strike is? There's no feathers. A lot of those O-mints, New Orleans mint coins, are like that. But overall, though, I mean, really very, very nice. I really like the fields on this. If this was a split grade coin, I would call the reverse of this coin easily a 65 all day long. And there's just, there's gentle toning kind of hides it a little bit, but there are just no marks on that coin. Finally, we have this 81S, which, you know, generally they're really tough on. I liked this coin. It had almost a cameo look to it, even though it doesn't have a proof-like field, which is kind of fascinating because the face has this nice kind of granular look to it, and then you got just a little bit of toning around the edge of Morgan's head, of Lady Liberty's head, I should say. Technically, her name is not Morgan. It is not called the Morgan dollar because that's who's on it. It's actually the designer. And the reverse has a little bit of proof-like to it, actually. A couple little marks, you know, but overall, a couple more marks there by the U. Overall, I think a really nice coin, real pleasing coin, the 81S. So I got those 3. Now that's kind of like our beginner level stuff. Now we're going to move on to 5 different type coins, and on each one, you don't get to know what the grade is ahead of time. We'll talk about each one individually here. So this is a 19S penny, and with questionable color. For those of you who are new to the channel, I mean, it's just like the running gag around here is that anything with toning on it is just, if I send it in to get certified, it comes back questionable color. I honestly want all my Lincoln pennies to look like this coin. Like I really like this coin. Now there's Lincoln penny specialists out there. You guys chime in and tell me, you know, on this coin, that field is spectacular. The luster, the color, just phenomenal. All right. So the question is, you know, on a coin that's ICG graded MS65 brown, you know, do you really take a shot on a coin like this? You know, bid in, there's no bid in 66. I'd have to, you know, find auction records. Plus, you know, the color is so nice, someone would probably pay a little bit of premium for it. But that is a coin that, is it worth more in this holder, or should I send it off to NGC or PCGS? Next up, we've got this 1878 Morgan. Why don't you take a look at it, and you can kind of think what grade you think it is already. Also, ICG graded. A couple of these are off-brand second-tier grading companies. Now this is the 7/8 tail feather, which is a cool variety. If you look at the tail feathers down there, you can see like a second layer of tail feathers. So there was the two major dies where you had a 7 tail feathers and 8 tail feathers, and then there's the 7/8 where you see the tail feathers kind of overlap. Also, I wonder what VAM it is. It looks like it's got some other stuff going on there. But, you know, kind of in your mind, give yourself a grade on this coin and see what you think it is. And maybe that's the easy way to do it. Say, okay, what grade do you give the coin? And then this coin has a big jump in value. So we'll see. So what did you grade the coin? Because here they called it a 64 plus. So a 64 is like a $400 coin. A 65 is like a $1,500 coin. You know, is that one that you play with? Is that one that you send in NGC or PCGS? All right, next I have a coin that is not rare at all. This is a 45D. This is an old PCI holder. PCI actually has I've seen a lot of PCI holders. These guys were mostly around, I think, in the 90s and early 2000s. And I've seen a lot of PCI coins graded really nice. This has a real classic look to it. The look. Sometimes they have the look. I call it kind of like the burnt rim look. You see how the edges of this guy, it was like there's this whole group of dimes and $50 from the 40s that were kept in paper rolls for just long enough to get the edges kind of toned up. And then they all came out and got certified, and they had just glorious, glorious look to them. You know, and overall, this coin has the look. Just great luster, great eye appeal. It just kind of dawned on me, I really haven't done much on my channel with Walking Liberty $50, especially in high grade. So all my walker friends, you've been waiting to see a nice walker. Tell me, how nice does it go? And of course, this coin does not have a big price point, so it's probably hard to really consider getting it certified or back in again. They already called this a 66. Do I just try to get 66 money for it, which is maybe $100? Or is it crazy enough to try to get a higher grade at NGC or PCGS? Or is it just worth sending over, is it worth enough at NGC or PCGS to have it in one of their holders? You know, this next up, oh man. All right, so who's my early type gold collectors? Where are you guys at? So this is an 1849 from Dahlonega. Okay, so I say Dahlonega, you know, sometimes I want to say Dahlonega, like you would say Talladega. For those of you who don't know, this D mint mark here is now that I said it two different ways, I'm going to really confuse myself. The Dahlonega Mint in Georgia, which was operational from 1838, I believe, to 1861. And, you know, look at the coin and see kind of what grade you think it is. Now, I will say it has a real flat, lack of luster look to it. It's got a couple little scrape marks in the field here on the left. But look at the detail left. You see the flat part over the hair, which I think is from strike, because if you look at the rest of the coin, it's really, really strong, especially that eagle. My goodness. And the D's, what grade would you give this coin? Right? And then, of course, the question is whether or not they would call it in any way cleaned or not, and do you send it into PCGS or NGC? See how exhausting this is, really? So 1849, really cool. This is the year, of course, that the 49er football team came into being. And this they called an AU50, which I'm fascinated with because to me this coin is a much higher grade all day long. Like, you know, I would call it a 58. The question is whether or not they would call it cleaned or played with. I've seen lots of early gold and they've been really nice and lenient on it. But, you know, that doesn't mean they'll be easy and lenient with me. Nothing's more frustrating than seeing a coin certified that you know that they would beat up and then it gets a grade that you couldn't get on your coins. All right, lastly, this I'm so used to saying 18, this 1799 silver dollar. All right, so you got to get in your mind here what type of grade you think this coin is. And we're going to take a little bit closer look here and see, you know, it obviously has some wear on it, and nice strong date, and the stars are strong, Liberty is strong, and I really enjoy on this coin always the clouds. I'm always staring at the clouds, but look at the detail on those things. The clouds and the stars up here, and there's mint luster throughout it. You know, that's really nice. So what do you grade this coin? And is there a big enough spread between VF30 and whatever grade you gave it? Well, I'll tell you what, in XF it's $3,000, and VF it's about $2,000. So what do you think? Is this a coin that you crack out and send in? Anyway, leave your feedback, have fun with it. Let me know what you would do if you were in my shoes. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.